Hey guys, what's up? It's Tom, and on today's video, we're going to talk about aircraft you shouldn't buy, or should you? So recently I was on LinkedIn checking out the videos of other brokers online, and one broker shared a video about aircraft that you shouldn't buy, and they listed 3 types of aircrafts or situations in which you should not buy that aircraft. Number 1, aircraft with missing logs. Number 2, an improperly maintained aircraft. Number 3, aircraft that stretch your budget. Now, before we get too far into it, I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to find the best aircraft for you, you got to go to theultimatejetguide.com, download the resource, and I'm going to help you every step of the way. Let's talk about an aircraft with missing logbooks. Yes, it's true that with missing logbooks, it's going to reduce the value of the aircraft. However, just because an aircraft is missing logbooks does not mean it is a bad aircraft to buy. How many logbooks are missing? Are we talking about maybe a year's worth of maintenance? Are we talking 10 years of maintenance? Was that back in the 1980s? Was it recently? There's a lot of questions you need to ask when an aircraft is missing logbooks. And the reality is you could actually get a pretty good deal on an aircraft, especially if it's at the end of its life and you're going to throw it away anyway if it's missing logbooks. If you get a good deal and you understand that when you go to sell it, you're going to have to take a price hit because of those missing logs, and it might be harder to sell. I have personally sold aircraft with missing logbooks, and yes, it's not the easiest thing in the world, but when you're working with the right broker, they'll be able to find you the perfect buyer. So don't miss out on a good deal for an aircraft because it's missing logbooks, as long as you understand what you're getting yourself into, and make sure you have your mechanic look at those logbooks, find out what's missing, find out how to remedy it. In some cases, there's actually copies of the logbooks that you can use, or it was on a maintenance tracking program and we have a history of the maintenance that was done on it, but it's missing logbooks. To be clear, if you have an option between an aircraft with logbooks and an aircraft that's missing logbooks, I would pick the one with the logbooks. But just because it's missing logbooks does not mean it's the end of the world. If you're working with a good power team, a broker, mechanic, pilot, etc., they can do their due diligence and it might be a great diamond in the rough. Next, they talk about improperly maintained aircraft. It's been maintained outside instead of being hangared. No one's paid attention to it. Paint's chipping off. It's got corrosion. It's got flat tires. The engines make good engine runs, but then you do the oil sample analysis and there's metal in there, but it seems to fly okay with good levels. I mean, this thing is just a cornucopia of problems. Most of the time, I recommend buyers stay away from this, but I'm very clear that if you have a team, if you've done this before, if you are the kind of person that enjoys a project and you understand what you're getting into, there can be value in an improperly maintained aircraft. It all comes down to the situation. And I think what's most important, especially when we're dealing with missing logbooks and improperly maintained aircraft, is that you're working with a broker and a power team that can help you make the right decision for you. And last but not least, they talk about aircraft that stretch your budget. Look, I'm more concerned about getting you into the right aircraft. If the right aircraft is going to stretch your budget, then I say we got to swing for it. Now, the reason they bring up aircraft that stretch your budget is because sometimes people will buy not the aircraft that they need, but the aircraft that they want with bells and whistles that they don't even know what they do. They think they need the newest, the latest, the greatest, when in reality, a model that's maybe a couple of years older will still do the job and they'll still be living that jet life. So I agree not to stretch your budget for reasons that you don't know or understand, but instead, if there's something that you know and that you understand and a feature and a benefit that you want, but it's at the top of your budget, but it solves the right problem, then I would tell you to go for it. Now that you know the planes to avoid, let's go ahead and take a look at the questions that you want to ask when you're inquiring on other aircraft. You can check out the video right over here for more details.